be, not dead. So let me just bring up all my things again. Like seriously, my phone has a lifespan of that of a butterfly, I think. That's the best comparison. I'm gonna turn that off. Gonna get a hold of this thing. Come on, computer. Wakey, wakey. Okay, now get out of my life. The heck, dude? I'm gonna switch that over there. Okay. Now, what is retrogration? And I'm going to be defining what retrogration is, Venus retrograde, what it means, and at the very end, like always, we'll have a Q&A at the end. So, Venus retrograde. It's the day before a holiday. Hey, Jabril. No. Retrogration is a natural phenomenon. Oh no. Actually, funny enough, when Aphrodite really, usually, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, she kind of is a big part of why all the battles and the, confliction in Greek mythology happened. And I mean, heck, when she couldn't have Adonis, I mean, that really messed everything up, but nonetheless. Retrogration is a natural phenomenon where it appears like a planet. Instead of it moving forward and direct, it looks like it's going backwards. And to best explain this, say you're in a vehicle. You're going one way, and then there's another vehicle. You're going a little bit slower, but not really slow, like extremely slow, but like fast enough that you can go past it, and then you can go backwards. Hey, Mika. So, essentially you're going faster than this car, and then this car is not going as fast. So essentially it's looking like this. You're going forward, and then you're going past them. But it looks like it's, and this is Venus, and then this is Earth. Earth is going faster, and Venus is going slower. But the thing is, the only way to actually experience that phenomenon is if it's close together, and then one is moving faster, so it looks like it's going backwards. Because if we go like this, no motion, okay, but now when you're still going, but not as fast, see, that's what it is. So, with that in mind, it can only be experienced when it's close. So since Earth and Venus are kind of close, the effects of Venus and what it represents and the qualities of it, it goes direct. Usually Venus retrograde lasts approximately a month. So I'm not really exactly sure of when, because there's 3 steps of retrogration. There's slowing down, there's the stop, and there's the backwards, then there's the stop, where it's called stationing, and then it moves direct again. And depending on like what stage of retrogration it's in, each stage acts differently. Like for example, when Venus was going and then it was slowing down, this slow period is when the regular influences are kind of not being as apparent. And when it stops, the qualities just get like stunned. And then when it goes retrograde, the qualities then do their retrograde effect. And then when it stations this way and it slows down, it kind of gets like a, wait a minute, I'm going the wrong way. So it stops, and then it goes direct again. So, when you have retrograde happen, the planet that's going backwards, or appearing to go backwards, the qualities of it are really close to the Earth. The distance is much closer than how it naturally is. So usually with Venus retrograde, naturally some people think like, oh, relationships are going to end. Love affairs are going to end. And essentially, past lovers come back. Kind of. Somewhat. But again, going at a more practical way. You have the planet getting closer to Earth. So the planet and the influences of it hit harder. It takes less time for the Earth to get hit with it than it was if it was direct. Because direct, okay, there's some distance, but when retrograde, it's close. Instead of it going like, it's going to go closer. And actually, I was getting to that, Mika. So essentially, when you have Venus, a planet that's also about resurrecting itself and taking someone out of death, essentially you can have somebody be in a state where they're at their like extreme lowest and they feel like there's no hope. Venus retrograde pulls them out and pulls them back to a higher state than they were originally in the past. So you can actually see, and I've actually had this happen. I've actually seen in one chart of I believe he's I think 1 or 2 now. Essentially, my former no, I'm gonna try to find a good way to say it. My boss's widow. She has a son who had was born with a heart defect. So she had to have him be taken in for surgery. He had the surgery, went through just fine, but as time was going on after the recovery stages, there were more things popping up. And this was when Venus was starting to slow down and stop, because it was about to go retrograde. So, out of nowhere, there were more complications popping up, and both of them were actually getting very concerned of like, well, now what? First there was this heart issue, and then we don't know what's going to happen next. So then my grandmother actually told me about it. I looked at his chart, then I just looked at it for a while. Then I noticed Venus was actually in his ascendant, the Lugna, and it was essentially past the ascendant degree, which actually your ascendant degree is literally like you coming into the Earth. It was past it, but since it was going past and it was slowing down, about to go retrograde in the regular transit, it stopped. And that's exactly when the issues were popping up. But as soon as Venus went back over, the issues went away. Venus went direct, no issues. So that's an example of how Venus can take somebody in a state where they're down, pull them back up, back to life, as an example. Venus can cheat people out of death. And if somebody does have a Venus retrograde in their chart naturally, you can see that inwardly, they are much more, how do I put this? It's not really the idea of like having one become narcissistic, because there are some people that think that, oh, you have Venus retrograde, you must be so self-centered and only have love for yourself, like narcissists. No. It's just that when you have a planet getting closer, the qualities tend to be more apparent. So with Venus retrograde being closer, you can actually see somebody be extremely peaceful, like non-confrontational, and they really have a strong inclination to actually having things be overly beautified, or they want to be very peaceful and calm and negotiable at everything. So much to the point where they can be overly focused on making sure that everybody else is happy but not them, as a potential risk. But also, since Venus naturally also represents and has a dominion over women, Venus goes retrograde, closer to the Earth. I'm just saying for what it is. The qualities of Venus having that dominion over women have intense empowerment during this period. Venus is that close. Every woman during this period is going to be getting a lot more empowerment to them. Don't look at me, don't look at me, I don't write this stuff. I just try to explain it. So you can actually see it's a powerful time for any woman that's held down or not allowed to speak or pretty much be brushed off, to actually, this is the time to step up and take a stand, and if you have to, pick up your heel and just club the guy in the eye. Which I did hit myself in the eye there. And really push to allow yourself to be heard, allow yourself to put yourself out a way that you want to be, express yourself how you want to be, at any way of expression, by writing, singing, speaking, makeup design, artistic expression, painting, drawing, sketching, fashion design, cosmetic design, anything. This is the time to just let it out. Express yourself however you want, and if someone, or really if there's a force that's trying to prevent you from doing that, don't let them do it. And because since Venus also represents conveniency, you can potentially also see people be a bit somewhat more lazy during this period, and they might be, let's just say, to kind of make this a little bit more understandable to like the this is so horrible, like to be more understanding for the generation, best put it. This is a kind of a period where you can see some, and probably a lot more people, act like Karens. Entitlement. Some people may feel like they're more entitled to stuff than they are when Venus is direct, because Venus represents conveniency and having your wants met rather than the needs met. And that feeling of entitlement potentially may be apparent. But again, it all just depends on the chart, and as well how the Venus is placed in the person's chart. But now, say if you have Capricorn and then it goes into Sagittarius, depending on which system you're using. But Venus retrograde in Capricorn, hey, Alexis. So Venus, well, in Capricorn, Venus going retrograde, well, how am I going to put this? Venus in the spot where it's going retrograde and then over and then direct again, it's actually in the part of the sky where Abjit is. And Abjit is the small lunar mansion. Hey, Michael. It is the very small lunar mansion between Saravan, which is in Capricorn, and then in Uttarashada, which is in Sagittarius. And Abjit is behind Uttarashada and Saravan. So this little spot right here is tiny, but essentially that is the lunar mansion of victory. Hello, Moon Enchantress, and Kayla, and oh my Lord Lanta. I completely forgot about that shithead Pluto. But in this spot where Venus is in, I'll answer that too. Essentially, Venus going retrograde, essentially, if there's something you want to bring back from your past that's been, dead, metaphorically, not literally, because you can't bring your dead back. But if there's something in your past that you want to bring back and bring into your future, this is the time to do it, because Abjit is the lunar mansion or the constellation point of essentially what you're going out and trying to push for has victory. So your endeavor becomes victorious. Venus representing that quality of bringing the dead back to life, going back into the past, resurrecting it, and bringing it in full assurance. Essentially, your past being brought back is victorious. So, take complete, full, how do I put this? Take full, I believe it's only 3 weeks. Three or so weeks. I'm trying to remember exactly. But use this time wisely, because in the small little bit of this, because Abjit is the only masculine lunar mansion, the rest are all feminine. This one, make use of it. Even if, like I said earlier, if you're trying to be more expressive with yourself, you're going to be victorious in the way you express yourself. And also, this is a period where you can actually see within the next few weeks where there is going to be a lot more women rising up to victory. They're going to be more victorious in their endeavors, regardless of what it is. And since it's Capricorn, you can actually see a lot of women being promoted in the what's that called? The what is that called? Like the corporate setting, you can see a lot more women rising up into higher positions of work, and you can also see a lot more women in more. You're going to see a lot more women in more male-dominated roles. And actually, with that in mind, you can see, like for an example, say like somebody is the head of a company, you can actually, and if it's a man running the company, you can actually see a woman rising up and knocking him out of it. It has the potential. And since the only other thing that I would be really cautious of is that be very, very careful if there is a authoritative figure that's above you that tries to come towards you in a more kind of not so professional way. Because Venus in Capricorn, it is that sense of beauty, conveniency, and finding creative self-expression by self-control, status. And you can even also see people with a status standing kind of being a little bit questionable and a little bit like keep that in the bedroom, if you catch my drift. Like those in power may seem a little bit more gentle, a little bit more flirty, but still. This is, again, I'm going to emphasize it this much. Venus having that dominion with women, you can see a lot of women standing up and gaining power from this. And whatever endeavor they choose, they're going to win it. And then, like I say, it's about time. Because also, like in, I believe, in the Middle East, I mean, there's a lot of women taking a stand against them being mistreated. And, it's about time, that they start being treated like people. Like, it means common sense. It's a person, not property. Because, no. Yeah, that whole entire mistreatment of them going on over there needs to stop. Enough. In that regard, Adam, I actually haven't had the need to. But now, also, since Pluto, even though the degree difference is off, they're still in the same sign somewhat. So essentially, some notches. Whenever Pluto comes into contact with a planet, regardless of who it is, except Lilith, Pluto takes that planet's significance, overkills it. And in Capricorn, those that are in a status, power, authority, are supposed to be having the self-control and leading by example. The little shithead goes, like pretty much drops a nuke on it, metaphorically, and transforms it into something completely different. Now, Venus being involved. Essentially, everything I just said, amplified even more. To a point that there will be, because of this retrogration, well, in that regard, you might be speaking of like Sugarchardia, Aphrodite, Adonis, I consider one. Yeah, but the thing is, so do I. Mine's in Scorpio. Yeah, Venus in Scorpio conjunct Pluto in Scorpio can go one of two ways. One of two ways. Option one. I don't like you. You come anywhere near me, I'm going to stab you in your neck. Number two. Ooh, I like this one. You cheat on me, I'm going to slit your throat in your sleep. One of two. I'm in it. But then again, it also depends on what part of Venus. Literally, that's how it is. But it depends on like what specific degree point it is, because each lunar mansion is going to give you a different type of Venus. You can have the Venus in Anuradha, or even heck, you can have the Venus in Vishaka. Oh boy. Well, Venus with... I don't get that, but okay. With Venus in Vishaka, you can actually see like your significant other, lover. It doesn't have to be just like... because Venus is the natural planet for lover, spouse figure in general. Oh. Well, that's not bad, because Venus finds beauty in long-distance travel and higher forms of thinking. And also beauty in doing religious acts, which does include ritual accounts. And also inspiring and guiding others into a higher state of awareness. Essentially like being a philosopher or a teacher that's actually a way of creative expression. But Venus in Vishaka, essentially you could have a significant other that can go like, okay, we'll go and do this. No, let's do this. No, let's do this. I don't know which one to go. And then have a mood flip. Yeah, because it can go to like one way, flip back. Because as a Vishaka goes, splits into two. And then Anuradha. Now, Anuradha is essentially, how do I put this? You're taking somebody who... Okay, I'll answer that. And Mika has an exalted Pisces, which is... I mean, everything has its good and bad side. Exaltation is just the planet's behaving in its highest dignity. Anyway. No. Venus in Anuradha, which is in Scorpio, which is the one I have. Essentially, you have your significant other or spouse figure pretty much be committed and devoted to you to a point where it literally defies logic. Like, you can have this person with Venus and Scorpio in that position. That's essentially, I see those points as like the MC, or is it the MC mid, that's the midhaven, right? Is that it? That's right. But the midhaven, well, that's the 10th house. But with Venus being in Scorpio, I just saw something in Russian pop up. Yeah. Essentially, you can put this person through absolute pain and suffering, like the absolute worst you can ever do to someone, literally, psychologically damage them, abuse them, like the worst you can even think of. They're sticking. You're not gonna get rid of them. Like literally, they will stick through thick and thin, and not even flinch. That's how Anuradha is. It's about deep connection. And it's also ruled by Saturn. So of course they're going to be like, no, you're not going to get rid of me. No. Oh, break up? No. That's how intense Anuradha is. That's devotion. But then you scooch over to Jeshta. Now here comes the dark part of Jeshta. Actually, like the dark part of Scorpio. Jeshta is essentially... How do I put this? Jeshta is the part where it's just like, oh, you're gonna go be with that hooch over there? Instead of be with me, your wife? Okay. No, go. He won't expect a thing from behind. Jeshta is very vengeful. And that's the vengeful side of Scorpio. So, back to Venus and Pluto in Capricorn and the retrogration event. So essentially, with women rising up with the Abjit and the power and it being amplified to them, you can actually see women actually, like the ones that are in higher up, you can see women actually going up and taking them down. Like if there's one that's a bit tyrannical in power, you can see a lot more women being like, you know what, we're done with this crap. And just go up and just take them down. And be sick of it. or whatever endeavor that they're trying to push, or like how one woman is wanting to do this, and if she gets resistance, you can actually see her essentially, to best put it, essentially she can become a, well, not become it, but like invoke like the energy of Kali. And Kali rips things to shreds. So, ladies, if you want to go for something, go for it. If something gets in the way, just rip right through it. Men, step out of the way. Let them have it. Just let them have it. Not saying this to be sexist, I'm just saying this because be careful. Because the last one you want to, get in the way of is Kali. Do not get in her way. And don't... don't put yourself in that unnecessarily scary situation. Just step out of the way and let them have it. But other than that, with that Pluto influence too, there's going to be a lot of like change. So you may actually see more women actually take a stand within the corporate ladder. They will start to be like shredding things. The best thing to do is just let them have it. Allow them to bring in the change. Because the more you resist, the more it persists, and the harder it hits in the face. And trust me, you do not want to get hit in the face by someone who has Kali backing them up. I saw that behind me. But pretty much, if you also have a significant, or like if you have an ex-lover come back, I mean, if anything, I'm somebody who likes to be open to people. Well, most of the time, as many people as I can. There are some who's just like, you come back this way, you're going to get this in your eye. But that's a very few amount. If the next lover comes back, and if it was a misunderstanding, or if there was something that hasn't been resolved from a past lover and it comes back around to be resolved, try your best to resolve it and then just figure out where to go from there. Like say if you're not with somebody now, but you were with someone, and now you've been by yourself for a period of time, they come back again, and if they want to try and reconnect it again, you make the choice. Can you reconnect with this person, or can you not? I can't say. All that has to be done is making sure that your well-being and your standing comes first. And as an astrologer that I follow, and I've actually listened to him talk about this subject, is if there's love there, and then of course you go with it. I swear, one of those things drives by again, I'm going to pop the tires. Because seriously, it goes not stop. Hello, Fiona. And you got what? Ghosted 7 months ago. Oh, well, this is what I have to say, Mika. If he comes back around, we're like, hey, I'm sorry, I just had a lot going on. It's not really that difficult just to do this. Like, say this is the phone. It's not hard to do this, hon. It's not hard to do that. That's not an excuse. If you have a phone apparatus, and if you can actually use your thumbs to make a message and then send it, you can still communicate with someone. There's no excuse. Especially if it was someone that you actually romantically went out on a date with or connected with, and then for whatever reason you decided, you know what, I'm just going to stop talking to them and ignore them. But you can't say, I had a good time, but I'm kind of thinking that it may not work the best for us. Why can't you just communicate that? Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do. But it also is not going to... Yes, I do, Moon. Enchantress, yeah. And actually, speaking of that, let me try and see if I can get this up. I might have to just post it in a post or something, but essentially, I just lost my train of thought. I have like a way that you can actually go onto, it's called Squarespace, or my Square, or whatever. Or you can also just go on my Instagram, and there's a thing that you can actually book to, have a one-on-one private one with me. And the rates and the time frame is on there, so it looks like I'm gonna go out there and pop the tires. Whoops. Well, maybe you should have gotten your raspberry maker checked, because I'm tired of hearing that non-stop. But anyway. So, I just don't get it. How in the heck is it difficult just to tell somebody that it's not going to connect well? Like, after when I'm finished, then I don't mind doing the readings, but right now I'm still trying to remain on topic. But with the idea of like how some people just decide to ghost, or probably the one that agitates me the most, because this one happens to me still. How come it's so difficult to send a long... No, wait. How come it's so easy to send a long paragraph, like a really long paragraph text message, to somebody that you're supposed to be romantically involved with, or, trying to, be close emotionally to or connect with? How come it's so simple to write a long paragraph having a hissy fit? But, very difficult just to say three small words, as an example. And I mean, I don't get that. It's like, come on, people. It's not going to be so hard to just, either be considerate or, be mindful. And, I mean, this is coming from, like, a realistic, practical point of view. If you're afraid that you're going to make the other person upset, well, I mean, how do you think they feel? They're pretty upset because you're not saying a word. So either way, you're going to have them be upset. Do you want them to be upset honestly, or do you want them to be upset and think, wow, what a prick, or a twathead? Jabrero, do you want brownies for me or something? Because if you do, fine. What kind do you like? I hope you like the ones with candy in them, I think. Or like the green. Like the candy that has like multicolored. Really? Why? Why, Mika? Why? Yeah. That part I definitely agree with. But sometimes there is that understanding, like if something happened, like if a passing or like something tragic happened to them, okay, things happen. But the thing is I mean, I'm one of those that if something's fishy, I go and find where the fish is and I clean it out and get rid of it. And I'm trying to figure out and see what's really going on. And when there's a situation where there's somebody who's not messaging you, but they exist on other social media, I mean, that's the point where when they do come back, it's like, oh, I see that you have finally decided to, take a few seconds out of your existence on this earth to send me a message and try and think, oh, nothing happened. No. You ain't slick. I like how feisty all of a sudden this, like, but either way. So like whenever you have, whatever. Whenever you have like an ex-person or like an ex-love interest come back towards you, and if they did ghost you, it's actually very healthy to let them know that, hey, why are you acting like you just completely came back like nothing even happened? You completely spaced what happened. If they don't come towards you first saying like, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you, whatever situation happened, and I needed to focus on that, that's completely different than like having, some twithead who stood you up and was making you feel like, oh, okay, well, he just vanished. Maybe he fell off a cliff. Oh, well, good. Hopefully he broke his neck. But nonetheless. So, that kind of person comes back, and long and behold, they're like, hey, what's up? Are you doing anything right now? No. I mean, that would just set me off saying, oh, actually, I am doing something right now, and that's completely something far different than responding to you. In fact, much more important. So, give me like about. Actually, I'll decide when I'll message you back next if you reply back. Because right now, because it just shows one. Well, I mean, for one thing, they just gotta do the face. Two, I mean, how else are they gonna learn that doing that ghosting behavior is not okay? In fact, it's kind of. What good is gonna be getting out of both parties if one of them just decides, okay, this was a nice connection and whatnot, but I don't know, I'm just gonna vanish. Well, what are they gonna gain from that? Well, the connection being severed. Well, they're gonna be feeling guilty, unless they're a sociopath or one of those kind of people, and they won't feel it. This person is gonna think, wow, what a twathead, or like, wow, did I do something wrong? What's going on here? Like, wow, that's kind of messed up. It kind of causes confliction between the two. But also, if it's one of those that likes to be all like having a conga line of one nights, if you catch my drift, you ain't gonna be able to stick it forever. Now, trust me. Or catch it. You're not gonna be able to catch it and stick it forever now. Just saying. But nonetheless. So, I mean, really, there's nothing really you can gain from it, like ghosting someone, other than being like, I got away from this person. Okay, well, you kind of made them feel bad, and they're stuck in their head trying to figure out what they did wrong, so they can learn from it and know not to do it next time. But that's none of my business. What do I know? I don't know nothing. But either way. But like, say also if, yeah. Now you have somebody that you once dated and they turn out to be someone who is like narcissistic and abusive. They try and come back and woozy-woo you. No. Just straight up tell them like, you know, I'll have a thought about that. But as of right now, you ain't hot shit, hon. You ain't nothing. You're pretty much as useful as none. And the point of that is just like, what's the point? Why are they even there? Oh my gosh, Lisa. Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, gee. I'm gonna buy myself nothing but chocolate from that. Yep. Oh yeah, oh wow. Where have I been? I completely forgot it was Christmas tomorrow. Yep. So, I guess I'll just say, happy global, I'm trying to find a good way to put this. Happy global fat guy breaks into your house, steals your cookies, milk, and for some reason leaves boxes wrapped underneath your tree and all that. Yeah. Hold on. I got something I'm gonna grab. Give you right back. Just remembered something. Never mind, I thought I did. It was. Oh, wait. Got sidetracked. Yeah. Actually, I have another plan right behind him and grab it, yeah. Right down at the store trying to find, as I get poked in the eye by one of these rose lilies. I was going down to the store and hopefully getting a thing of azaleas, but there was only one left and they were all dead. Yep. Because correct now. Yeah, I was ready for that. But you also know what, the devil figure is, right? Live life, live it hard, enjoy it. Enjoy your senses and enjoy the physical experience around you. And Saturn, how do I say that? Saturnalia? Oh, it is the time where, Saturn is in the name. So, I actually remember reading this comment on one of the things Kendra posted, and it was actually about Saturnalina, and it was, essentially the comment that I put on there said, it was like the planet Saturn, and then like quote, like the, what's that called? Colon, and then I put the quote saying, "Damn right, it's my birthday, celebrate! Now!" Well, that's just one of them. I have another one back there. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to try not to fall on my face. But if I come back and if I have a different face, well, you know I fell. Okay, come hither, little one. And this one... Okay, so, yeah, I'll need some water pretty soon. And this one is in Amaryllis. I'll just hit myself in the face with this thing, but yeah. Don't hit me in the face, please. Yeah, this is an Amaryllis. When I first planted it, the stalk of it wasn't even done. But now this thing is growing, and I'm thinking, you know, if you could bloom any time now, that would be just majestic, love, because you're kind of looking like one of those things attached to men. So that way I don't, have to make that joke again. I'll make that joke. Well, good. And actually, like a hidden subliminal thing about winter, what usually happens when you have people, like a tribe of people, during a blizzard, what do they all usually do? They all come together to keep warm during the winter time. So winter is also the season of, I'm going to put this back, put it back where it was. So essentially, winter is also the season that's the most, it actually brings people together the most out of all the seasons, literally. It's the one that actually forces people to reconnect with one another, to actually socialize and communicate to one another. I hope that doesn't turn into a beanstalk that goes into a giant's castle, because it'd be like, oh great. So this is where Anger Boda lives, huh? Oh boy. What a hot mess that would be. Not really a hot mess, it would just be like, oh boy. What a lovely thing to go up to, but... Yep. And also winter is also the season of where you can actually you can also say that emotions, or like how someone's emotions are, they actually become fixed and devoted. It's the most devotional of all the seasons, because it's water going, hey Blue. Like somebody's love for somebody else goes, it stays, it's stuck. That's why I also have a snowflake on my shoulder, and also this one right there. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Oh, I feel so weird doing that. I feel weird. Muscle flex. Oh, it just feels... I don't know, I feel weird doing that in front of a live studio audience. I don't know why. Because, I don't know. Oh, I know why. It's probably the Saturnian placement of mine being all like, hey, you ain't shit, kid. Oh, you think you got big, muscles, huh? Wow. You suck! Literally! I don't know, don't get me wrong. Oh, and also maybe also my K2, also being in the fifth, being, showbiz in front of people, meh with it. I've already done it last time, being the center of attention. Why am I gonna do it again? If I could have a choice, I would say, well, I don't even think I have yeah, I really have, except Ganesha, Lord Ganesha doesn't really give presents, he just gives direction, wisdom, and either removes or adds obstacles. No. Not at all, Blue, because essentially you have this. Pretty much where your sense of empowerment comes from you being in an authoritative position, you having the power. And the way that you get vengeance is by putting people in, sometimes literally, timeout, or whacking them one. Like if someone like puts you down, you turn around and say, you know what, dude? It's pretty pathetic that your family or like your parents didn't teach you how to have self-control and keep your mouth shut. As an example. Essentially, giving discipline or punishment is Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn. And also, one also seduces and captivates others by essentially being in order and showing that they're really one captivates others by pretty much showing that they have worked hard for where they're at right now in their standing or their status. Essentially, they can be all like, or even also the way that they seduce others or captivate or lure is really tamed. And it's really structured. And it's also, it's in a way where it's full of mannerisms. They lead by being they seduce by being classy, considerate, and like how it was in the, like, back in, I feel so bad saying that, but like back in the day, like even, like they seduce in a way that's kind of considered chivalrous, if that makes sense. But it's also in a way that's strict. Like, say for example, if they're trying to win somebody over and if they're not acting like they're in control, if that makes sense. Like if they're not acting proper with manners, they kind of feel off-kilter a little. Santa coming down the chimney all like, okay, I got your gifts. That'll teach you for taking my cookies, you fat ass. Oh, what happened? Oh, that's right. You can't come down here because your ass is lit. Damn fat ass. Right, now I sound like Cartman. Watch me get a copyright strike for that. Nonetheless. There's another question or something. There was one more. There was something that got posted. I wanted to read and play Dig Dug for it. Where'd it go? Don't tell me it's gone. I hope not. Oh. Well, it was there. I didn't know where it went. Oh, Kayla. Kayla, what if Venus and Saturn are at the same degree in the same sign? That's called, whenever the sun gets too close to your planet, besides like Lilith, because if Lilith and the sun are conjunct, she's going to pin him and take him down. And also, funny enough, same with the moon, because the moon can't get combust. But any other planet besides the moon and Black Moon Lilith, even also you can even say Rahu and Ketu, the sun burns and completely fries whatever planet he's that close to. So their significance gets, God, I feel just so agitated being next to this flamer. Oh, God. Oh, hey, nice to see you're here with me. Whatever, son, can you go away? Gosh, I can't even think because you're going, yes, queen, too much. Go away. The worst, the one that gets combust the easiest, sun with Mars. Mars gets a little bit close. Oh, he's mad. It's just like, shut up! Literally. Even to the king. Yeah. Mars is already hot-headed. You put something that's like extra spicy next to heat, that thing is gonna like fry your tongue off. Gonna give it like 3rd-degree burns. The one that can actually handle the heat the most, besides the moon, funny enough, is Mercury. Because Mercury's like, yeah, I'm used to this guy. Oh, hi, so good to see you again. But he still can get combusted. So you have Venus, Mars, and Pluto in Scorpio then. If that's the case, wow. How come this is not doing what it's supposed to do? Oh wait, it's a computer, that's why. If Sun and Venus are underneath Abjit, well, the Sun naturally owns Abjit. And also, depending on like if it's in the Sagittarius side or the Capricorn side, that's where it can change. Because depending on what the main foundation, like the main foundation of it all is, it can change. Like it can go, one side it can go Capricorn, Sun, Sun, or it can go Jupiter, Sun, Sun. See how it can have a difference? One side you can have be very like philosophical and enlightening and very inspirational. The other side is really strict and kind of tyrannical, if that makes sense, but also victorious and pushy. It's just like, what's the main top of this all? What's the starting point of it, and how fine does it go down into? Which of the two suns underneath? Whatever the main, like the foundation it gets built on, provides for it. On the Capricorn side, you have essentially one sense of fulfillment, and as well one sense of creative self-expression. And since that's in Saravan, one feels fulfilled on being able to actually hear somebody actually communicate in a way that is able to uplift others in a way that brings them to a state of victory. One feels fulfilled teaching others that those who have been not allowed to creatively express themselves are fully, what's the word? They feel fulfilled reminding people that you're entitled to expressing yourself how you want to be, because the way you express yourself, you can do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it except yourself. And is able to uplift somebody, because Saravan is where you see the side of Capricorn where it's like serving and listening. With that, one is able to uplift and radiate a way that brings people out of their lowest point by reminding them that victory comes from creative self-expression, also listening. One feels also fulfilled by listening to people and allowing their creativity to be like put on the spotlight, if that makes sense. One feels fulfilled giving admiration, and also admiration brings victory to other people in the Capricorn Saravan side. If that makes sense. Lilith and... Oh, by the way, that was what I was looking for before. Lilith in Scorpio. Well, for one, she naturally owns that. Well, co-rules the Sun of Scorpio alongside... Oh boy, here's the Dean's list. Mars, Pluto, and K2. So you have Mars, the break everything and, this is my land, and stick a flag in it and call it owned. Then you have K2, which is meh with it. Then you have the little shithead Pluto that's like, oh, I can do this too, guys. Oh, kill this thing. Moon and Leo. One feels full and one actually feels secure when they're being admired. And also depending on what part of Leo it is. But Lilith in is Scorpio. Essentially, this is what happens. Lilith in Scorpio gets empowerment by doing things of occult nature. And one gets empowerment by secrecy. One, as well, uses means of like a secret way of handling a situation to get empowerment from. One may also get revenge by doing a cult, or one gets acts of vengeance by pretty much dun 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 dun, just striking out of nowhere. And one can actually withstand traumatic events or things that are traumatizing and not really be damaged from it. And there's another thing too. I'm trying to remember what it was. But with the Leo moon with the Scorpio Lilith, you can actually have this. You can actually see that Lilith, if her recognition with that placement, Black Moon, Lilith, and Scorpio, and then Leo Moon, if Lilith's position gets threatened, or like if she's being admired, and if someone comes in and tries to slander it, she'll strike. She'll get revenge, like that. Or she may not do a thing at all and be unpredictable, but when it strikes, overkill. Because that Leo moon, when, like I said before, whenever moon gets in jeopardy, wherever a Black Moon Lilith is, it activates. So, one can get a lot of revenge, and one can actually swing at somebody's reputation and how they're being perceived in the world. Like the king, like there's a figure sitting on the throne, and then there's some peasant trying to come in and dethrone him. Well, the figure stands up, grabs the blade, and then goes, "Oh, you don't even know what you're doing, hun." Stabs him right through the chest. And then just, flips him over. And he goes right on his back. "Guards, would you mind getting this dead meat thing out of here? Because he had spilling tomato juice all over the place." And because of that too, you can also see potentially whenever they get vengeance done, they actually use what happened to that poor unfortunate soul. Oh, great, copyright, here we go. You can actually see them actually use that individual that made the whoopsie. They use that as an example of like, don't do what he did. Because that might be you next. Let's see. What else is there? Nope. Well, actually, the way that I look at astrology, I look at it as like it is what it is. It's neither good or bad. It's just that's what it is. So Pluto in the 12th, essentially, whenever you donate something, you transform something. Like say for example, if you're ever going to be giving something to someone else, like if you're going to be giving something that you don't need but somebody else could use it, the minute that you give them whatever it is, you transform their life. Like say if you donate like some clothes to like Salvation Army, as an example. I don't like the Salvation Army because they're like, "Oh, you're one of those rainbow ones? Nope, you can't come in." No, you're not really a charity then, are you? You're kind of being, what's that called? Discriminate. But when you do that, when you donate those for people to actually buy back and buy on their own for much more cheaper, that actually you transform people's lives that way. And you also get transformation by helping people that are in the hospital. Or whenever you go into the hospital, there's a transformation that changes within you. Or even if you talk to somebody like who's in a holding facility, a jail, you transform their life by speaking to them. Because 12th house is the jail. Yep, because that's what Pluto does. Well, going into a position, or even also, when you astro travel, you can actually do this. Like if say you're astral projecting and then there's somebody completely unaware, and it can be just like, hey! That's like how strong it can get. If you astrally project somewhere to somebody to be next to them, you'll make an appearance and they'll be like, there's something here, I just know it. Felt a cool breeze right there, exactly a few seconds after I'd said that. Don't be trying to do that right now. The heck? Just had a piece of green adventure and was like, hey, can I go there? No, don't do that. Not the time for that. What do I know? Oh, that's why my diffuser stopped working, because it was being blocked by something. That's fixed. No. Yeah, okay, fine. Actually, I'm gonna put this... Probably do that later. Hand me... Oh! This thing. I also am working on... Do you want me to stab that raspberry maker thing again? Because I will, and trust me. The hole's gonna get much bigger than it already is. Don't push me, kid. I do also have a thinkific course site that I'm working on too. Scorpio in the 4th house, there's a lot of whoa. All that in Aquarius? Well, I mean, I do have Moon ascendant degree, drunk Saturn, and Lilith in Aquarius. So in a way, I can be all like, that's quite a lot of uniqueness going on with that. Don't push me, dude. Get off that thing. Those Polaris things or whatever. The people that live on the street, they decide to get on them and go, going, I don't know, 60, and it's 25 around here. In a residential area. Let's just do 60. Unique, like. Actually, to be technical, we're all unique in one way because let's not get scientific. Let's just go with it. But let me see if I don't want to do that because then I mess up the stream. I'll just post that. But I do have a thinkific course website thing that I'm working on, and so far I have up there already talking about like fundamentals of crystals and gemstones. Astral relationships and connection, using botanicals, doing the tarot, astrology, and stuff like that. I'm slowly building upon them all because I'm trying to put everything that's in my head on there. Oh, that's just the filter. No. And no, I'm not self-sabotaging. I'm just saying that just to be comical. Oh look, it's the Assassin's Creed guy. I'll make sure to post the link as soon as the stream's over, because this... I'm not sure if... I don't even know how to put it up for like a pre-sale or whatever, but I'll figure it out and post the link, but anyway. So, I'm going to scooch this way. So, yeah. That's in the works. And then other than that, it's also getting pretty close to the... Actually, wait a minute. It's going to be 5 years since I've been, first got connected with hell. It's going to be 5 years now. 5 years is getting close. Oh boy. Surprises. It's surprised it's been 5 years, because the Lord, I don't know what that was. I'm going to hope I never hear that again. But 5 years. Wow. But yeah, I'll make a post about all that and the information and all the woo when it gets up. But I'm also gonna try and make it, purchasable to everybody and not just be all like, there's some people thinking like, oh, this course, to do this course you need to put $50 in, or not yeah. Well, I mean, the way that she is towards me is, I mean, at first it was like, I was afraid I was gonna go deaf. Whenever I made a whoops, oh, I thought I lost my hearing, and then it came back. But actually, I think maybe, who knows, maybe, because I've been also, like, last year, I've been thinking about trying to find an optimal time to make like a short video or a movie, actually kind of like me going through all that again, to kind of like show what it was like when she came towards me and stopped me from almost kicking the bucket, and actually going through it all to actually put it out there that, like, hey, this is how she came to me. And yeah, she kind of stopped me from, doing a suicide attempt that would have been in vain and caused more damage and would have been a big whoops. Yeah. And the cause of it was actually losing somebody who was believed to have killed himself in suicide also. So really, it would have been like, oh, he's gone, I'm gonna go to them. Get stopped. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, that would have been bad. Yeah, it's intense. Oh. 9 minutes. I can't really say, but there's actually 2 hells. There's the hell that's there now, and there's the hell that was the prior hell. The one that was actually wedded to Mimir. And when the original hell retired, Mimir had to hold down Helheim, and all the passed on. Because if he didn't, they'd be all wandering like aimlessly. So Mimir was the one taking in power until hell, the next hell, was given that position. And I mean, I also have to admit too, when it came to like Hell's involvement in Ragnarok, not the Marvel movie, that is not Hell. In fact, that's kind of a mistake, the way that she was presented in that movie. Still, when it came to Ragnarok, essentially Hell wanted this stance. What do you mean I have to pick a side between you two? I think you both are two idiot supposed to be gods or whatever. Why the heck do I want to play in your slap fist? Just leave me alone. I want to go be with my dead. No, go away. I have to choose a side? Do I have to? Why can't I just take care of my dad? Why? Fine, I guess I'll just pick my dad's side. Now can I go? And that's really how she feels towards Ragnarok. If she could, she'd rather just completely not even participate. And rather just take care of her dad. But since she's being forced to and pushed, fine, I'll choose my dad's side. Just because, father, that's it. Because really, she is so focused on doing her chosen vow that she made when she was given Helheim. She'd rather be doing that than just, being a part of the slapfest, metaphorically. She would rather do her responsibility than fight. Because that's what she said she'd do. So you can definitely see that Hell's word is strong. In fact, Hell is probably the most Well, in a way too, I kind of did do that, but I mean, at least in my position and in my situation, to put it simply, this was, I didn't even know she existed until she came in. Essentially, she took initiative on her own to come towards me and stop me from ending my life because I was having the idea that somebody really close and dear to me was dead. And I didn't want to be on the earth anymore without him, so I was going to go. But she stopped me, and then once I cleaned myself up, and 30 minutes later, found out, got a message from him saying that he was okay, and then having the realization that, hey, whoever this was, because I didn't know who it was, she saved her life, stopped a would-be vain death, and also prevented that person who was believed to be dead having to live with now you being gone. And she chose to do it all by herself. At that point, that's when I'm like, I don't know who you are. Don't know whatever you are. But I have no choice but to surrender to that. Especially when she took the action on her own. She stood up and made the choice herself to stop me and prevent so much damage from being done. She made the choice, not me. Didn't even know she existed. And because of that, it's equitable exchange to give that commitment to. That's, I mean, at least for me on the personal level, I mean, when there's an entity or a being that takes initiative on behalf of not only yourself, but somebody else close to you to prevent them from being completely destroyed, that says a lot. That's why I'm like so close and really overprotective about Helldoll and also her. But things, they go up and down. That's just life, but still. Something like that can't be reversed. So, once it goes carried through, it's done. So, I mean, I really do have to give Hell all the credit for everything. And that's why I'm like really protective, feisty, and like whenever anybody says like, oh, she's cruel and harsh and she's greedy and all these other stupid things, I mean, I've snapped at people, telling them like, well, who said that? Or you're just believing what some person who actually tainted the older Nordic beliefs with their Abrahamic stuff. You're gonna believe that instead of actually going towards hell herself, or actually not taking the time to actually put in some effort to realize, wow, she doesn't turn any person away. She even doesn't hold anything above their head, being like, you have to do this in order to come to me. She doesn't even do that. Heck, if there's Hitler, she'll even take Hitler in. She'll take Jeffrey Dahmer in. She'll take in anybody that comes towards her. Because they're dead. And she said, whoever comes towards me, I will let them into Helheim, and I will caretake to them to the best of my ability. Keep in mind. Well, I mean, just like with the Saturnian part with her, she is probably the best, if not near almost completely how does Lilith, the first wife of Adam? Actually, to be honest, really, a lot of people say that Lilith was wedded to Adam, but I can't really say. Not really, because if anything, in actuality, it's said that she's wedded to many. But we still have yet to find out, okay, who has pinned her down? None of them. Nobody. Don't even try. You try and pin her down, she'll look at you and say, "Oh, Adam, I thought you were dead." "Oh yeah, you're reincarnated for the 90,000th time. Hold still." But anyway. Because how, when you interact with her, she essentially is a mirror. What you put out, she pretty much deflects back how you were. Well, actually, Michael, I'll put it this way. It's just like, oh, a way to escape from this desperate thing. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. Who are you, woman? What a beautiful world I'm gonna explore. Meanwhile, above Yahweh. Wait! You said you'd be my queen! Oh, woe is you. Go away. Stop fanboying me. Shortly thereafter, God, she won't submit to me. Can you help me? I can get revenge now. You, woman. Why haven't you cleaned your beard yet, dude? It's crusty. You better submit to him. And? Oh, you want me to take you seriously? You have cobwebs in your beard, dude. Please clean them. This is my world, and you must do as I say. Wow. You think I'm going to listen to somebody that you know can't even take care of himself? I'm out. I quit. Kind of in a way, yeah, but still. I mean, with Lilith, and to me, this makes sense. She would claim that she's wedded to someone or somebody just to get the perks. And she does what she pleases. And if someone tries to pin her down, nope, you're not going to do that. Oh, that's a good way to, that's a really easy and really good way to actually have you stop moving if you're trying, put me in a strap. Don't even try. Oh, are you thinking to put this ball and chain on my ankle? Actually, joke's on you. You have two on yours. And yeah, one of them was the one you attached to me. You just cannot keep her pinned. You try. You think you're getting away with it, then 2 seconds later, game over screen. And even heck, I mean, look what happened to Adam. Not the Adam that's that watches the stream, but the first man. Well, she took him out. And also got revenge on Yahweh by being like, oh, you see these people that you made? The ones that you really don't appreciate or even know how to, cherish? Guess what? Forever ruined. Oh well. Maybe if you weren't a prick, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Oh well. Yes, in one viewpoint, but the real viewpoint is that she's primordial. And primordial is essentially a divine being that's pretty much like the foundation of where existence could stand. To best explain it. From chaos, the void, came Nyx. So the Greek, or if you want to be also looking at it from the Roman perspective, Nox, the goddess of the night. From chaos, the void, came Nyx. From Nyx came everything else, in Brother Erebos. So Lilith is a primordial, just like how kind of divine the Nyx is. I mean, just like how chaos gave out Nyx, as a primordial, Lilith came from chaos, the void. So Lilith was actually equal, in fact, probably on the same level as Yahweh. And Yahweh could not pin her down. In fact, when, she bamboozled him into creating Eden and doing the Genesis. She only was doing that because he couldn't take no for an answer.
Pretty lady!
Who are you?
Be my queen, please!
You expect me to be a queen to this?
Yeah! Isn't it good?
Why do you have cobwebs on your face, dude?
It's my beard.
I gotta get away from this thing. No.
Please!
One stop. So she tricked him into doing Genesis just to go down there and get away from him. He wouldn't take no for an answer. And didn't hear this from me, but I think he was the first sinner. Advocating somebody to be violated and raped? Yep. Because Arachne was actually a victim of abuse. Or pretty much because of how Athena treated Arachne, because, lost a stitching contest. And also the same thing like with Medusa. Medusa is associated with Lilith. Same, and also Arachne. Both of them were victims of mistreatment. Lilith was also a victim of uncalled for treatment. So you can't say that. And one of Lilith's animals, hope your tires fall off mid-drive, twathead. Lilith is also associated with the Black Widow spider. And also, the spider is also being able to be patient. And when the time comes, to strike. So yes, I would say, and also Arachne, being the great weaver, what's she doing? She's weaving, making a piece of art. Lilith is all about experiencing artistic expression and allowing it to flow, allowing one to explore their creative side, regardless if it's stereotypically light or stereotypically dark. Whatever creativity is, she likes to experience it and allow it to flow. Well, and then also there's this thing too. Athena, while yes, Zeus impregnated another goddess, what else is new? But I can't remember exactly why, but he then ate that goddess? And because of that, Athena came out of his head, I believe. So with that in mind, to be technical, Athena only had a father. Because that's where she came out of his head. So what Athena lacks is that feminine ability to be able to sympathize, be compassionate. Came out of just Zeus's head. Coming from only a place of like the masculine, logical, practical, realistic, and down to earth. That's all she has. She can't be like, hold on. Right. And apparently Aphrodite and Medusa. Well, I would have to say I can't say, because I have not had them come work together on something or interact with each other in my space before. I've never had it happen, so I can't really say. But still, nonetheless, though, I believe Metis. That was the one that Zeus ate, right? For Athena? Okay. And yeah, that'd be the mother, but the thing is, she wasn't born from the mother. She was born out of Zeus's head. So when an offspring is born, they come from a parent. It comes from Zeus's head. So essentially you go man, woman, man eats woman, who's pregnant, Athena comes out of a man's head. And it sounds so weird, but I'm trying to like go in a way that kind of deductive reasonings. If this, then that, then this. But still, the tale of Medusa, for example, instead of Athena showing compassion and then trying to get down and actually give some sense of security and actually console and help Medusa, she acts kind of tyrannical and doesn't sympathize and goes to the extreme and punishes her. But despite that, doing this. Athena, help me, please. Poseidon's gonna violate me. I need your help, please. That was random. Whatever. But anyway, she essentially was pleading Athena to help. Athena didn't help. So there's no emotional connection between her and Medusa. She doesn't know how to do it. That's why, coming from Zeus's head, she lacks that altogether. She can't sympathize. Like, even like the same thing with... To me, that's how I see it. And that's the thing I'm standing on. Because if someone is being violated, and if you can't sympathize with them after being violated and say you're going to punish them instead, that's... And even also, just if you're going to be... Well... other than that, really... Even if, she is also wedded to Samuel, who knows what her real intention is? Is she really wedding Samuel because of the actually wanting to be married to him? Or just for perks that come with it? Because at her core, all about doing what she wants, expressing herself how she wants, and experiencing all the world around her. And also getting... I just lost my train of thought. And essentially being allowed to express herself how she wants to. And not being worried about like, oh, this might hurt someone, or this might offend someone. Oh well. Oh darn. Whatever. It's not really her problem if someone gets all like, oh, that hurt my feelings. Okay, why are you telling me? You want to do it again? Because in all reality, if something's offensive, it's only offensive because you're taking it so intensely. And I mean, there's always something that can be offensive to someone. There's always something. And it's really difficult to not be able to look at something that does bother you and not say something. It's hard. Like, for example, probably the biggest, thing that gets people a little bit hissy-fitty, is when you have somebody say like, oh, I don't agree with your point of view. Or like if there's somebody expressing fact and like how something is correcting somebody else. Or like how, I've also even had this happen. Some twat actually called me, what's that called? I think it's called transphobic, I think. Yeah, because apparently what I was doing, I was pretty much referencing what you use whenever you speak, or whenever you, in the English language, whenever you are in doubt of like whatever an individual's gender is. Like if you don't know, when in doubt, you use he. That's Old English. That's the oldest point of English. And then here comes the idea of like, oh, what are you, transphobic? Or are you just like, oh, are you sexist? What do you got against women? No, that's just what the rule is. And don't look at me, that's just how it was. That's the oldest thing I can stand on. And even some people will say, well, that's offensive. Not really, because that's just what it has been since many moons ago. If it was the other way around, using she, that's what I would stick with. That's the only thing I can go off of. And really, sometimes things aren't really offensive. It's just that sometimes people just won't get over the fact that they're losing an argument, because in that same interaction between myself and the person that was hissy fitting, I mean, they were. Racist calling black magic black magic. You call black magic? You're racist. Just saying, when somebody uses like an adjective describing something, just because, you know, they're not the same color as that word, doesn't mean that they are restricted from using that word. God forbid, they call black magic black. That's like calling, you know, water wet. Wet water. That's offensive. That's what it is. And also, same thing goes with stereotyping. Yes, Jabrail, I agree with that one. Oh, well, D. Colas, aren't you just slick? But still, in all technicality, here's a really good lesson for everybody. White magic and black magic, there's a difference. And don't even think like, well, black magic's painful. No, it's not. I see you, cupcake. Funny. But still. Black magic and white magic. Black magic is magic that is intended to improve and expand and support the self. Because what's black in the dark? The void. What is the color black to? Pulls, brings, consumes, brings stuff to it. Where black outside, the sunlight, goes into it. It's a black hole and it pulls to itself. And what does white do? On the other side, white magic. It pretty much takes in, but lessens. And white magic is intended to give and to support others, to sacrifice the self and to take on what's outside of the self, and take it in and then support the collective with it. So apparently also, well, here's something. I'm going to do a healing spell on myself. That's white magic, right? No. That's black. Because what you're doing with that healing spell to heal yourself, you're mending and prioritizing and doing for yourself. Focus on the self. What condones what? Yep, but still, by definition, because there's actually a book written like a long time ago, like the many ways of actually. Yep, there's also Goetic divines that specialize in healing. In fact, both sides, like both how do you put this? Both what's that called? Polarities, like the stereotypical light, dark, good, bad, whatever. Both of them have the same ability. It's just one has a different mask on and a different way of expressing it. It's the same thing, just with a different face. And if you're doing magic to improve yourself and doing things for yourself as priority number one, black. and doing it for somebody else, white. Because the thing is, if you have to do a spell or working, like to manifest getting a job, say like if you get offered a position after doing the working, only then to find out that same position, somebody got fired from it. And how do we know that, you putting out that intention was the cause of them to get fired? You don't know. Hey, you didn't have any intention for that. But still, that vibration went out. Someone lost their position. You take the position now. It wasn't malefic. It wasn't baneful. But because of that intention going out, that's what hit. That's what happens. That's what happens when you send out a working. It vibrates outward from you. And whatever gets hit by it, if it makes contact, it falls, and then it opens up and gets brought to you. If that makes sense. That was kind of like a little bit technical, fine point putting it, but. And also, white magic does involve doing any kind of admiration to like divinity. Like for example, Lotus altar that I made, that's white, because you're giving to something else. You're providing energy or giving to another entity or being or person to uplift or help them gain at the cost of yours. What? Mm-hmm. And actually, I like to give like a little fun fact, a little cutesy thing you can do. One of the easiest ways to ground yourself. I'm gonna give you all a little thing called a mudra, which is what they do like when they hold their fingers in a certain way when doing meditation. One of the easiest mudras you can do. You take your thumb. Don't be like the Fonzie. I bet you don't even know what that is. You take your thumb, and then you have your middle finger. Just do this. And just like that. Like if you're doing that shadow puppet thing like a coyote. Just do that. And then just hold it. I'm already feeling it because it's just like, how come everything feels like it just stopped moving? To explain it, you have the thumb, which is ruled by Mars, not Venus, whoever says that. Mars, the planet of action. Mars owns the thumb. And the middle finger, you suck! Saturn. And also, you can also see why they have the blue sapphires on the stone. Whenever you have the thumb come into contact like this, that, or that, action meets that planet and what it represents. So this manifests into the physical body. It manifests into it. So action now goes into Saturn. Saturnian qualities being put into the body. But now say if we were to do it like a Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of inspiration, wisdom, commanding, general. You're going to do this. Divine inspiration. Now if you do well, to be kind of honest, the beliefs like of those tribes people, to be kind of technical, their faith wasn't really demonized because the Abrahamic stuff already tainted them before they even knew about their belief system. So, like the people that actually put them as slaves, they actually didn't even know what their faith was, so they can't even demonize it, because what the slaves did, they took on what they were being handed to, and they just put their divinity and they covered what they were being handed. Like for example, the saints, they put one of their own divines right over the top of it. You can, but something that the main core of it all is, does it support you Does it help you? Are you prioritizing yourself with this magic? It's black. Are you trying to get someone to, woozy woo? Like if you're trying to woozy woo somebody and for them to come towards you, it's black because you're doing it to better yourself. Like you're targeting somebody else. Are you trying to send out something to help someone realize, oh, I should be with this person because they care about me. I'll go be with them. That's white. The focus is you're trying to help someone else at the cost of your energy. You're sending it out to help them get clarity for them to come back. But both of them are both corrosive. One's selfish and prioritizes the self. The other prioritizes the other to come towards. One's black, one's white. Okay. Well, if you're going to be doing an evocation, well, before I actually go into that, let me define this. Invoke is when you connect to an entity or a divine or a spirit, and it comes through into you and works through you. Evoke, of course, is where you invite an entity into your space to have them come in as they are. But to have them actually become physically tangent, here's the thing. How you perceive it depends on each person. Of course, when you're going to be calling in a Goetic Divine, when you invite them in, they're going to come however they want to, unless if you ask them to appear in a way that you can comprehend it. Let's hear for an example here. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's been a while. Why do you always make the gay jokes, dude? Well, gray magic is essentially... I'm trying to talk here, dude. He's so easy to mess with. If you're familiar with, and if you've been here quite a while, you'll know who this is. Yeah, I know. And even also, believe it or not, a few times too, earlier, I don't know if any of you could tell, I would hope you would. Like the few times where I just sounded completely different, poking and laughing at like Yahweh and all that. Well, we all know who that was. I hope. And there are also some people that even have told me when that happens. It's like, oh, you must be doing splitting, huh? Actually, no, I'm not diagnosed bipolar. And I'm not diagnosed schizophrenic very much, but my significant other is. But still, there's the full body, there is the point where it's only up to a certain point in the body. It all depends. Like for example, when like in the video that I did, I think a long time ago actually, where I was explaining how to do a pact and not be stereotypical about it and actually be inviting the other entity in to work alongside you to negotiate. How I allowed Sodonis to take control of the hand and write out what he would like in return for it, and that I could also do, and he would accept. Just that partial body invocate, not really the whole thing, but probably the one that has been the most. Well, for me, I completely understand why, but for everybody else that's seen it and actually face to face with it, Hell has probably been the one that's been the most, like, apparent. Best put it. Because, I mean, there have been times where, I mean, there's a situation where, I mean, was not comfortable and I was in a bad spot, like, really bad, and somebody was, like, really, like, how do I put this? Essentially, somebody was, like, trying so hard to, like, manipulate and push me in a direction I did not want to go, and I was getting uncomfortable, and they wouldn't stop. So, I mean, she just came in and just scared the living heck out of them. And it just explodes. But that hasn't happened in a while. But really, it's essentially the best way I can explain to really actually do it is just simply, how does that quote go? I think, therefore I am, or essentially, as I say it, so be it. And keep it simple. If I'm going to be, say for an example, like inviting Lilith in to come through and speak for a short bit, you say it, I invite Lilith in to speak through me and work through me for this purpose. You think, well, you said it, therefore it is. And then once it's done, out. Best way to do it is just keep it simple. It's like the same thing like with my my art of bamboozling. Oh, are you gonna hit me with that? Actually, no, it's not gonna hurt me. Instead, it's actually gonna give me some blessings instead. It's my life. I decide what happens. I decide how this giant curse is gonna do. I decide what happens to me. Nothing. Or better yet, oh, someone's giving me a hex. I can't accept it. Yeah, you can keep it. No, I can't accept it because there's nothing that says you cannot accept something that's trying to be given to you. You don't have to accept it. Someone's trying to give you a curse. I can't accept it. You can keep it. Nope. In your perspective and in your viewpoint and how your existence is, it's yours, not theirs. You decide what happens, not them. Oh, you're going to be getting a generational curse? Nah, not feeling it. I don't want it. Actually, you take it. You just give it right back. And that's how bamboozling works. Oh no, I have all this suffering and karmic debt I have to do. Nah, not feeling it. You can keep it. Stop trying to give me that karmic debt. You keep it. I can't accept it. And everybody has like their own way of using. That's funny. The sun came out. I hate the sun. So, everybody's unique in their own way of doing it. And there are some people that even heck, they're able to actually just write, like they write out something. Happens. It just all depends. Everybody's way of working is unique and different. That's why it's also considered an art. The occult is an art and creative self-expression. Has a combination come out. Oh, what a lovely thing to have fall out of the deck. is she who's most sassy. Not having it. Now, Sean, I really hope I don't pull like a huge font. The good old notice me. No, not really. Form a Discord. Well, I mean, I've been thinking about doing that. It's just I have no idea what to do. And also, the occult is the best way to put it. The occult is like a box of chocolates. You never know what's going to happen with it, except the occult is just like you never know what's going to happen when you put something in there. You put in your 2 cents, you get 20 pounds of gold. You put in 2 cents again, you get an elephant to the head. That's how the occult is. It's as stable as, how Uranus is. It's like, you have no idea. It's like, surprise! What? Yep, it's a science of many branches, and there's... I thought I heard something fall. Hold on. Be right back. Remote view, I have not yet, but I'm gonna make a post with that, what was it? For where the course is? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. But I'll put up the links because I have a big headache right now, and someone fell. And yeah, I have to attend to that. So I'll just see you guys later. Have a, good old, festive holiday, and make sure that, you don't have your cookies, milk, and anything sweet of yours get ganked by some fat guy with, a big red sack of boxes.